Okay, we're on the last page of the notes for Algebra 2, Section 6.2. And we're going to try and find the zeros of the following function. And to do that, you just set these each equal to 0. So first of all, x equals 0 is the first one. And if you set this equal to 0, you get your second one, which would be 3/4. You take the 3 over to the other side and divide by 4. Now on the next section, you're going to have to go backwards from this answer. And to do that, you put the 4 in front of the x and then change the sign of the other number. And I'll take you all the way back up to the start. Okay, we got one more here, x minus 5. When you set that equal to 0, you end up with x equals 5. So there's our zeros. All right, so 0, 3/4, and 5 are the zeros there. Here, when you set negative 2x equals 0, you solve by dividing by negative 2 here. And you get x equals 0. So we get the same answer we had on the previous one. And these each give the same answer, namely x equals 3/2. Now, because it repeated itself twice, that's a multiplicity of 2, and all the other answers we've had so far would be a multiplicity of 1, although the instructions here don't ask us for that. To verify this on your graphing calculator, you would graph the function, and then you would trace and type in the values that you got. So, for instance, on this last one here, you would trace 3 divided by 2, and you would also trace 0, and see if you end up with a cursor blinking on the x-axis with a y value of 0. Okay, so the next section here, I'm going to show you how we get this done here. You work backwards from the answers, and the first answer is x equals 0, and it generates a factor of x. The next one, 2/5, generates a factor of 5x minus 2. And to get that answer of negative 3, you'd start out with a factor of x plus 3. And then you take and you have to put this in standard form. So I FOILed out the back half of it. This is where I get the 5x squared. There's a 15x minus a 2x. That's where the 13x comes from. And finally a minus 6 there. Once you've done that, you distribute the x. Okay, this next one here has a factor of 3/2, 4, and 1. And when you work backwards from those, you get these factors. We're going to start by FOILing out the back. It'll give x squared, 1x minus 4x, and negative 4. So when you combine the middle terms, that's what you get. Then you're going to multiply the 2x times all 3 of these, and that would give you these guys. And then you multiply the negative 3 times all 3 of these, which gives you these terms. And adding the like terms finishes the job. Okay, the last problem in the note set here, we have to find the zeros and give the multiplicity of each. So the first one there, the first term is, or the first section there is x squared. And when you set that equal to 0, you get x equals 0. The squared means both you have an x and another x. They both give 0, so the multiplicity is 2. The middle one, when you set it equal to 0, gives 3/2, and it already shows up once. And the last one is negative 5. And since it's written out x plus 5 times x plus 5 times x plus 5, it would show up 3 times, and the multiplicity is considered to be 3. So we had an answer of 0, and its multiplicity was 2. We had an answer of 3/2, which only showed up once. And we have an answer of negative 5, and that one shows up 3 times. So there's the multiplicities that go along with the answers. And that does it for the 6.2 notes.